with me. Oh, tiptoe from the garden.
Howdy everybody, John Coffey here. Taking a break from the music videos to do a movie review today. I got done seeing the new James Wan film, Insidious. If you don't know James Wan, he's the guy who did Saw, Dead Silence, and Death Sentence, which is 3 movies I really like. I know Dead Silence was a mix between some people, but Death Sentence was fantastic. So as soon as this film was coming out, I knew I was going to go see it. Some red flags were popping up for me, being PG-13 and a ghost film. Not usually too big on ghost films, but went and seen it because I love James Wan's work. And well, I'll get to what I think about here in a minute, but let me give you a rundown of what the movie's about. Family moves into a new home. One day the kid goes exploring, falls, hits his head. Next morning, goes into a coma for no good reason. Take him to the doctors. They don't know why he's in the coma. It's not head trauma or nothing. And so 3 months later, they take him home because the doctors don't know what to do with him or what's wrong with him, so they let him take him home. From there, strange things begin to happen. Very strange things. You know, people showing up in the house, things being moved, and it just increasingly gets more and more extreme encounters. Eventually, they hire a medium to help them figure out what's happening, and she explains that it's a little bit of a spoiler here. I mean, it's not gonna give away anything real big. That he's able to go out of body, but has got lost in what they call the further, which is the out of body life. And because he is lost in the further, many ghosts are trying to get into his body, but in particular, a demon is trying to get in. And like I said, from there things go crazy. I've heard mainly good things about this movie, but there was a few haters. But I have to say, I loved this movie. I thought it was just fantastic. Another spectacular job by James Wan as a director. Very, very good stuff. And what surprised me the most about this movie is how much it actually scared me. I was legitimately uneasy throughout the whole movie. Jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. But not just jump scares where like, whoop, there's a cat. Legitimately good built-up jump scares and just creepy, creepy imagery. And good use of music too. Who knew Tiny Tim's Tiptoe for the Tulips could be disturbing? But once you see this movie, you'll understand why that song is so freaky. It is just, I mean, the acting is really good, including, I believe her name is Lynn Shay. You may know her from movies like Kingpin. I know she's the landlady in Kingpin. She's in 2000 Maniacs, 2001 Maniacs as well. She's in tons of stuff. Once you see her, you'll know who she is. She does a fantastic job in this movie. I mean, I was really surprised. I've never really seen her actually act, and she did really good, and so did everybody in this movie, really. But the true star of this movie is James Wan's ability to build tension. At points where it's unbearable, you're waiting for something to happen, and there's always something happening. Especially, he does such a good mix of building the scare, using the musical cues, boom, boom, the jump scares, but he also is really good at just throwing scares out of nowhere and just showing you creepy, bizarre imagery that just freaks you out. Great cinematography as always. Pretty decent writing. I know Lee Winnell not only wrote it, but he's also in the movie. Has a pretty decent role too. Probably his biggest role since the first Saw movie. Yeah, James Wan. He's 4-0 for me. I know some people, like I said, Saw and Dead Silence, 50-50 for most people. But I like, all 4 of those movies. And I'm not in particular a fan of the Saw franchise as a whole. I just like the first one. It was made for cheap, and it's made some decent money, and it was made on a low budget. So if you haven't seen Insidious yet, you've got to go check it out. This is it's a PG-13 horror film, yes, but it doesn't need blood, it doesn't need gore, it doesn't need violence. It's just good the way it is. And I think it's a movie that a lot of people need to support. I know Scream 4 came out this weekend. It's a sequel. Even if it's good, it's still just a sequel done by Wes Craven's track record hasn't been so fantastic here recently. And this is a movie done by a good up and coming director, and it's an. I mean, did it reinvent the wheel? No, but is it a great movie? Yeah, and it needs our support. So all horror fans need to go out there and check out this movie and support it, and just have fun with it. It's a good 70s, 80s style haunted house flick. So everybody, check out Insidious and keep checking back. And I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope it informed you and helped you to make a decision on whether or not you should see this movie. So yeah, thanks guys, and see you later.
Love tree.